I'm a little nervous to be honest, but I'm excited.
Welcome, Iesha.
Hi, nice to see you.
Nice to have you here. Please tell everybody about who you are and what you do.
So my name's Iesha. I go also by Iesha Marie for my solo projects, but I'm Lady Liberty in American Party Machine.
Love that. Love a persona in a band.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your other music projects, your solo stuff too.
So my solo stuff, so I'm a full-time musician and I mostly do covers and that's like my bag. Love karaoke and once I realized I'm like, you know what, I really want to play guitar. I was starting to put all the songs that I love to do in my bedroom. Eventually all the songs that I covered kind of grew and now I'm almost at like 2,000 different songs that I covered.
Wow.
Yeah, about a thousand different artists I have listed on my website. But
Wow.
I play around locally here in Sanford, Florida, and in kind of the Orlando area. But yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's amazing. So, like, if somebody was looking for some music for an event and they wanted a cover artist, you would have a huge repertoire to be able
Right.
to put together. That is so fun.
Yeah, actually this past Friday, we have a festival called Sanford Porch Fest here. And basically, in the historic area, there's a lot of big, beautiful homes with big, beautiful porches. And so they actually turn the porches into stages, and everybody's yards become where the audience gets to sit. So people bring chairs and blankets, and they have like over different, like 50 different artists from bands and solo artists. And they just have them scattered around. So people kind of, take their bikes and go around. And the profits, all of them go to Seminole County rather, and it's to benefit children for the arts, so whether it's music or acting and stuff like that. And so they actually just had their gala and they hired me to perform because they did a Studio 54 theme for Studios Sanford Porch Fest. So I had a whole list of disco songs for the entire cocktail hour, and that was a lot of fun to put together.
Darn, if I had known the disco part, I would have mixed up the vinyl game differently. Uh, well,
I'm
that
all
sounds
over the place with
fun.
music, so it'll still be fun.
I might have to remix it. That sounds so fun. Love a fundraiser gala. Did people get nice and drunk and give away lots of money?
Gave away money and got nice and pretty and stuff. Everybody behaved and everybody was dancing and having a good time, though. It was really, really fun. It was my first gala, so I didn't know what to expect. It was
Oh,
fun.
yeah. I just want to put this out into the universe that if there's anybody that just like would love to have a nice event that is appropriate to get toasty at, it is a gala. It is a
Yeah.
fundraiser gala. It's
Oh,
okay
yeah.
to do that and give away a lot of money.
Right.
So do that.
Yes.
Well, that's super cool. I have a friend, I got a couple friends in Cali that have cover bands that like cover gigs just pay really well. They love to perform. And so it's like a great way to kind of have like I don't know, for them, they feel less stressed out doing a fun cover performance and
Hmm.
than they do producing original music because it's like just got totally different objectives. What do you think? Since
Yeah.
you do both as well.
Right. Yeah. I do some gigs with the original music, and with my acoustic stuff, it's more like I like to say blues, soul, rock and roll because it kind of dances in there, but like
Mhm.
you can kind of get like country elements out of my songs and other random stuff. So I really kind of just put that as a big, nice umbrella for the sound of it. And then, yeah, and then I have the band American Party Machine. And before that, actually, before I joined American Party Machine, I had a band called Intergalactic Space Pussy, which was a trio, all girl, alien themed sex band, which was brief but so much fun.
Sounds amazing.
It was a lot
Um,
of fun.
did you guys get to like release much with that band?
No, so we actually didn't get to that point. We did do live shows and they were fun because we would like give out these little alien bobber heads to everybody, and we had an inflatable alien and his name was Fellatio and he was Italian. He was a we'd hang out on stage, and we'd had a song called where's the clit? And in the breakdown, I would have a volunteer from the audience come up and wear this giant vagina costume,
Uh-huh.
and I would direct where it was and stuff. So everybody really got into it and stuff, but we didn't get to the point of recording because everybody's lives kind of, went in different directions and stuff. But we did have one reunion one time, and it's still up in the air for more reunions because it's just so much fun.
Oh man, I think that you would enjoy a band called T-Rocks and their album Balls Deep Holiday.
Okay, I like that
Yeah.
album title.
Oh yeah. Titles on the song like Orgasmic Birth and Death by Dildo.
Oh yes, yeah. We have a bone. We had Bonerific as one of ours.
So
Black Hole
fun.
Fuckholes was another. Just yeah, that's definitely up my alley.
I love shock rock. I love it.
Yes,
Art
me
is
too.
meant to, challenge convention, right? So
Hmm.
ruffle feathers.
Yeah,
So
and
when
have
did
fun.
you first realize that you loved rock and metal music and you wanted to create more of it?
So my family, I was raised by a single mother, and so she grew up listening to Pat Benatar, Blondie, Alice Cooper, and my grandfather was heavily influenced with Elvis Presley, Little Richard, also Dean Martin, and my grandma had Whitney Houston and Tina Turner. So it was
Oh.
like all kind of encompassing, and it wasn't until my aunt gave me, well, she didn't give me, but she brought out her record player and brought out her album from the Runaways, and it was the Live in Japan album. And that's,
Mm.
she was like, oh yeah, they're 16 and I was 14 at the time, and it, I
Oh.
already knew of Joan Jett and liked her, so like knowing that's where she came from, it kind of was like, I gotta have an all-female band, like I really want to be in a
Mm.
band. So that's kind of where it all started.
Oh man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I you just named a whole bunch of stuff I love. I mean, blues rock and soul sounds like pretty encompassing of my taste too. Yeah, okay. That sounds amazing. Love that story. So,
Yeah.
if your music were a movie soundtrack, what would the movie be about?
So for the band, for American Party Machine, uh what was would be described as probably like halfway between Independence Day and a gangbang. And if you want to throw in Half Baked in there, that's like the kind of movie vibe for our music. Uh, very, very fun rock and roll stoner good stuff. Yeah, that's, I haven't really thought about for my solo music. My solo music would probably be like, I don't know, a depressing movie that like leaves you kind of like, oh, all right. But yeah,
But like, okay, it could be depressing, but it would also, it sounds like, have to be directed by Jack Black.
I could see that. I could see that. I mean, I definitely enjoy I enjoy Jack Black, so that would be the comic relief and
Yeah,
all the tragedy for sure.
like he's always playing with like uh like the fear of musicians, but then the underdog like having a magical journey towards their goal, which doesn't never make sense to anyone else, but it's
Mhm.
like, is it sad or is it just freedom?
Good point. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the
So
journey towards free, like actual feeling free. I like that.
yeah, like actually one of my friends, she has a business that's like super cool. It's in the arts and she really changes a lot of lives and perspectives with it. And she has been feeling kind of down because with the downturn of the economy, people can't
Hmm.
afford to pay
For
into the
sure.
arts as much. And so they can't really like invest in themselves. So they can't work with her to grow their dreams and things like that. So it's has her bummed out. But I was like, the thing is, because I've worked with her, is like the work that she does, the value of it is tied to things that are so much bigger and more important than money that
Right.
just like comes and goes. Like the way that
Hmm.
she changed my mindset is changing my mom's mindset and it's going to change my niece's mindset. It's like getting that
Right.
that Runaways album where it's like maybe they made money when that particular vinyl was sold to your aunt, but they also
Right.
changed your life and right now you're
True.
changing other people's lives. So it's kind of like As long as you got a roof over your head and full belly,
Yeah, for sure.
that's really what
For
matters.
sure.
Okay. If you could collect any three pieces of rock memorabilia of all time, what would you like to have?
So definitely one of Joan Jett's jumpsuits,
Hmm.
probably the red one. I can't even remember when she wore that one, but yeah, that would be like one. Tina Turner's wig,
Oh, good.
specifically the year 1985 would be great. And then either Alice Cooper's cane or one of the prop heads would be
Mm.
another one.
You can have
Super big
both.
fan.
Get four. Um, Finally, somebody said Tina Turner's wig. Uh, Cane and
And
Prophet.
she had great wigs, but 1985 is the quintessential, you know.
Yeah, she made all her own wigs too. That's why they were so distinctive.
So cool.
Yeah, I love that she was just like, nobody's doing this right. I have to do it myself.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to do that to
Yeah, I do
push.
my own hair.
That's
Um,
awesome. Oh yeah.
would be every time I've let somebody else do it, it's been a sad disaster.
My
So
sister's a hairstylist, so luckily I just refer to her for all my curly products, and like she helps me out with that.
she's your Tina Turner.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
if you could pick bands for the lineup of a dream festival, who would you choose and where would you have this fest take place? As many bands as you want and located anywhere.
So I kind of made notes because I wasn't too sure. Um, if I had to guess, it would probably just be like a Runaways reunion with all the members who are still with us. Unfortunately, not Sandy West, but to have like even like Jackie Fox and Vicky Blue, like everybody, and
Hmm.
then have like just the everybody who's ever said the Runaways has influenced me. Like there's so many great female fronted bands. Just to have like a female fronted fest, just boom, with the Runaways being like, let's give an homage to the Queens of Noise. Like probably call it the Queens of Noise. Where at? I don't know. But anywhere. Anywhere. That'd be
Okay.
great.
It could be a world tour.
Dude, that would be sick. For sure.
And then you would have to get the intergalactic space pussy back together so you could have your all girls band perform at
Yes.
this world tour.
It's funny
Uh,
because like actually my the drummer of the band, Lexi Starlust, she always had an idea to have a pussy fest and to like have like what if there's all bands with pussy names. So Nashville Pussy, Pussy Riot, like just get all of them up on the same bill and like have a nice festival. So it's kind of funny you said that.
yes, do it. Um, if you have ever needed help putting together a fest, Deb from Lady Beast is so, so,
Oh
so
yeah.
friendly and helpful. And she puts a fest together in Pittsburgh, usually every year. She skipped this year because she moved into a new house.
Mm.
But um, she knows how to do the thing.
Oh yeah. Lady
Um,
Beast is awesome too. Real cool.
yes. Deb has like magical ant vibes. Uh,
Nice.
Looking back, what was a big decision you made that turned out to be a great choice?
So actually joining American Party Machine. So I was familiar with the band. So they started, I believe, in 2010, 2011, and I didn't become aware of them until 2015. They played a festival here local called Hurricane Party, and I was like blown away because there's a whole bunch of dudes, probably like 7 or 8 of them on stage, all decked out in American flag material, but they're like wrestlers, like and some as tall as wrestlers, and like they're throwing people through tables in the middle of their set, and they're like the lyrics of their songs were just so much fun, and like the riffs were great, and I just like fell in love with them. So they actually were my like favorite local band, and so when ISP split because the drummer she ended up going finishing school became a mom and now has a super awesome job, and the bassist actually moved over to England. I believe she lives in Bristol. They all did their own thing, so I right after that they reached out to me saying that they were going to need a bassist. I
Mm.
only played guitar, like rhythm kind of stuff. So eventually we got Bud Heavy to play bass, and then I came in, and it's been the greatest decision because it's challenged me with my guitar playing. Shout out to Swisher Sweets for being like our lead guitarist. He's such an encouraging, like they all are. They're like my brothers are like they're so encouraging, and it really pushed the barriers of being a performer for me. And we've been a band together for this lineup for about 6 years, and I couldn't be happier with like what future things I feel like I'm accomplishing for myself, along with them. It's been a great journey.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's so great.
I was
First of all,
definitely afraid to do it, but yeah, I'm glad I did.
was it the guitar playing or was it the wild performing?
All of the above, but mostly the guitar playing, because I'm used to just like cowboy chords when I'm playing my acoustic, and then
Mhm.
punk rock bar chords. I wasn't doing anything intricate, but in the band I'm doing a lot more, and
Mhm.
it's getting more and more complicated and complex, which is pretty cool because I'm growing without all of our stuff too.
Nice. I love that they were your local band, your favorite local band, and
Yeah.
you got to start playing with them. That was
Yeah.
definitely also like how I got attracted to T-Rocks and ended up doing like background singing and dancing with them because I saw them and I was just like, this band is so
Yeah.
crazy. I was like, I love it. Like they're just so free and unhinged and uninhibited.
Right.
And I was like, oh man, they're actually having fun.
Yes, exactly.
So I
Exactly.
was like,
Yeah.
this is so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah. And actually I think I was at like a totally different metal band's show and I was just like shaking my butt and the bassist of T-Rocks came up to me and was like, "Oh, are you a professional dancer? Because you're like butt shaking looks good." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And then she was like, "You should shake your butt for my band." And I was like, "You're T-Rocks. I know who you are. And yes, I would love to do that."
Oh yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. So
Yeah.
the lesson here is always shake your butt.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What's your favorite gear and favorite stage wear?
So my favorite stage where I actually have it is my American Party Machine vest. So
Oh,
all of us have our individual vests for our individual characters. So since I'm Lady Liberty, I have Liberty down the side, and then the back is Lady Liberty lighting
oh,
a nice little joint there with with
oh.
her torch. So that's my favorite. Shout out to Ryan Plummer for airbrushing the art for all of our stuff. I mean, they've worked with the guys before, but with me joining the band, he put together that image, and I was like, dude, perfect. Like I want it tattooed on me or something. Like it's so good.
Um, that makes me even more excited to one day catch one of your shows because I didn't realize that everybody had like like a work uniform battle vest.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
Amazing.
yeah.
What about your favorite gear?
So I think it's a solid tie between my guitars. So I'm like the initial, like if I see a guitar and I like the way it looks, that's the first thing that's eye catching. So my first guitar was it's going to be my LTD that I have. It's like super glittery silver shimmer, and I played that in Intergalactic Space Pussy. And then I love my Jackson that I got. It's a hot pink that um that Swisher Sweets actually has a duplicate. His is lime green, so mine is like this hot pink, and we look so awesome on stage. Like it's such a great guitar, and it's really like so comfortable to play and like really get me to do those complex stuff. And my last guitar is my Martin X series, and it's kind of like flat black, very lightweight. Um, I love the big sound it gives when I'm playing outdoor gigs, especially because like
Mm.
battling the Florida heat, and then like when you got the cold winters, the sound, like it's crazy how much it fluctuates. And so like with the guitar, like it always just sounds good and punches through. And so and that's Louisa, but I love all my guitars for
Oh
sure.
my gosh. Are any of them nearby? Because I especially want to see the sparkly silver one.
Oh yeah, I got the sparkly one. Yeah, so this is Lady
I
Stardust.
love her.
Yeah.
Lady Stardust.
Hmm. I'm
Oh
a big
my
Bowie fan.
Oh, it's so pretty. Um,
And then the Jackson. Super
Gorgeous. Mm, yeah.
Miss Jackson. Hmm.
Miss Jackson. Oh, these
Yeah.
have good names.
Oh yeah.
My bass is named Lady, actually.
Nice. That's a very cool name. Yeah, yeah.
Lady,
Love
lady,
it. I love
lady.
naming my guitars. Like I like my husband doesn't name his guitars, but like because he's a bass player and he has multiples, but I'm like, no, they have to have names. They have all have personalities, you know?
Exactly. Yes. My my acoustic bass doesn't have a name, so
Fair, fair.
probably come up with something.
Hmm.
Okay, so we love those. They're gorgeous. Okay, when you hit that inevitable flaming hoop in the circus, like you have to reschedule a tour or your album is delayed, how do you like to keep your spirits up?
So I love music biographies. I always like love watching the movies. Like
Mm.
my grandmother had Tina Turner's, you know, when it was on Lifetime, she was watching it. Like it didn't matter how many times she's watched it. So I always like really kind of gravitated to like learning about the artist. And so it's kind of like, you know, whenever I do hit these snags, and don't get me wrong, I beat myself up like all the time, but it gives me like an extra like, you know, light at the end of the tunnel, like a little bit brighter,
Hmm.
knowing that, you know, I'm not the first person to deal with some of the things I deal with. And also like people reach it on the other side, you know, that, and there's always that like that second chance of like making it work. Like, you know, all those usual sayings of when one door closes, you know, another opens. It like really happens when you kind of take a step back. So I'm
Yeah,
learning every day. I'm trying to get better and better at it, but that's probably what keeps me going is just knowing that people I look up to, even like people I know that are around me, people in my band, like I see them trucking through. So it's like, yeah, I can, you know, I got this.
yeah, totally. Oh, yeah. I also love the biographies and interviews, especially like when you know the biography and then you watch some of the interviews and you just like see people in the different stages where like with Tina, like, oh, this part didn't happen yet in her life and like here's her mindset. I mean, I love Tina Turner a lot, like
Mm-hmm.
too much.
Yes.
So, um I did get to see her once.
Oh,
Um
that's awesome.
at
Very cool.
my 18th birthday.
Oh,
Um
nice.
it was a surprise.
I kind of got like
Anyway,
chills a little bit. I'm like, oh, that would be so sick. That's yeah, dream.
yeah,
Very
I'm like
cool.
trying not to just keep talking about Tina Turner, but yeah, anyway, biographies though, I find that they're really helpful too. Just like because people's lives go up and down so much, and like
Hmm.
even if it's like a painter's biography or something, it's like they gotta get out of a war-torn country and then they're in a new country
Yeah,
and they're learning a language and then like they're like trying to make friends and they're having like dinner parties or like Tina's like, starting over at the end of
yeah,
her 30s with 4 kids, right?
yeah,
What an inspiration. And then all that time she spent thinking that she needed Ike and she didn't because she didn't get the Grammy till she left him.
yeah.
Mm.
But you
So,
know, sometimes things just happen at the right time, you know, or not necessarily that it's the right time, but you know, people make do, and she definitely did. And I'm glad that you know she got to have the full arc of her life to the end, like you know, super strong and
yeah.
inspirational.
And then like her life ended with her living in pretty much a castle.
Yeah, yeah,
So like
happily.
yeah, with
Yeah.
this like guy that just like fully like was looking at a goddess when he looked at her.
Hmm.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
love that biographies. That is such a good one. So it also makes sense to me, like why this show is helpful and useful to people because it's like here are I think also seeing women do it is especially
Hmm.
useful because and women our age doing it right now under the same circumstances is really useful. So good answer. Uh what is a performance memory that you will never forget?
So probably the first time we ever played um the Spooky Empire horror convention. So it they have multiples now, but originally I believe it's just in Orlando. and big time movie stars from all the top horror movies. And I got to join them, and oh my gosh, I can't remember the first year we did it, but we got to play poolside, and we did our original songs, but we also took the time to learn a whole bunch of covers. So we got like Kiss covers and Rob Zombie in there, and it was when we did Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit that seeing this like giant mosh pit of like killer clowns and everybody decked out in really awesome cosplay, like just, and we're like in pool attire, like trying to play it up, just like ridiculous. It was
That's
such a good
wonderful.
time. Like that was definitely like the first. I think that might have been my first. Well, no, that wasn't my first mosh pit, but still, it's like whenever that happens in front of me, it's like, oh crap, like that's kind of cool. Like you just feed off of that energy. So
That
yeah, for sure.
yeah, that sounds amazing. That sounds even better than playing at a packed castle in Europe. Like that sounds, because like I don't know, I've heard like this the answer to this, and this one sounds really good because it's kind of giving me like the visual of like a 1970s like goopy special effects horror movie where there's like the band that's like zombies falling apart while they're playing, and like
Yeah.
people are like dying and making out, and that actually sounds super fun.
It was a good time. And it was kind of funny because like closer to the pool, it's at a hotel right across the street from Universal Studios in Orlando. So like you have families from like Wisconsin and stuff just hanging out. And so here we are, you know, singing our songs about partying and just like getting fucked up. And we have all these like horror people walking around their hotel all day. So it was probably very jarring for them, but it was such a great time. That was definitely like so far the top memory.
And at a pool too. Did it have a
Yeah,
swim up bar?
yeah,
It
yeah.
did. It did have a
It
swim
had a
up
pool.
bar.
Yeah, there's like a pool bar there
Oh,
too, and yeah, we
oh,
done it a couple
that's so
times. So it's a good time. The so that pool we weren't like up against, but this past year we were literally like in front of the pool, so people were inside the pool watching us. And part of our bit was Mickey Mouse coming in and trying to stop our music and wanting to turn the spooky empire into Mickey's not so spooky empire. And then Max Studley, our lead singer, you know, super tall, 6'5", 6'6", picks up Mickey Mouse and throws him in the pool at the end of our set. Like it was such a great time. That one was also fun too. So maybe I might have a tie.
Oh man. Okay, play that again and let me know when you do. I want to go to
For
that.
sure. For sure.
Man, that sounds amazing. So after a
Mhm.
long day of recording, touring, working out all the kinks, what is your favorite way to practice self-care?
So it's not, I wouldn't call it self-care because I don't really like do anything that's like particularly self-care, but I do like to kind of just like shut off my brain. So I love trash TV,
Mm.
and I will watch a lot of that. And that happens like because I with my solo stuff, I'm building my calendars, my website, making all my graphics, like it's an all day thing. And that's actually why I ended up doing full-time musician, because balancing a food service job and also doing that was just like too much. Like I needed those hours in the day to like plan all that, and
Hmm.
still do. So yeah, like I watch a lot of you know, Rock of Love. I've probably gone through like 4 times.
Right.
A lot of Jerry Springer,
Okay.
Judge Judy. Love
Uh-huh.
love watching that. So like just to kind of shut off, not pay attention to what like yeah, that's probably like the self-care I do.
Oh, completely understandable. My like trash TV this week is the new season of Love is Blind. It's the British season.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just started Mexico, which so like I'm a Latina, but I don't speak Spanish. So my family like didn't really like teach me. So like I've been learning with Duolingo, and
Mhm.
my husband also has his own like desire to learn Spanish. So we kind of like keep each other in check and kind of been trying to learn Spanish together for the last couple of years. So like I just started the first episode of Love is Blind Mexico to kind of like help me.
It's very educational
I tried.
show.
Educational trash.
Yes, it is. So yeah, I don't know. I just like
I
it's
love it. It's ridiculous.
Thank goodness that they stopped releasing all the episodes at once and they give us 4 at a time because I would binge.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
terrible.
I'm a binger.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, let me grab. Actually, I see. I already had these others picked out, and I put them back. And then when you told me about your interest, I was like, "Oh darn, I should have kept those." And they were right on the top of the pile, so it was that easy.
Oh, perfect. Very
Oh,
nice.
Dusty Springfield or Blondie?
Ooh, very much love singing Dusty Springfield, but Blondie is gonna be my pick for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't gone through Dusty Springfield's catalog, and that's definitely someone that I would definitely need to.
Okay, I was about to suggest the same thing because I actually like started listening to more Dusty Springfield like this week. And I just went to the Spotify and then I was like, "Oh, she did like a ton of really good covers." I actually didn't know she was British. I thought she was American.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
that's very cool.
Yeah. And then
Yeah, I would have thought she was American too.
yeah, I guess she's sort of the Adele of her time.
Mm,
Yeah. I happen to know, just gonna spill the beans here. Somebody in Blondie, and so they do have a new album coming out.
very cool.
Yeah, you heard it here first, people, because I just went and put the tea all over the table.
Oh yes. Oh, I
Already
love that.
recorded and everything. They're just going through the process. The flaming hoops is probably what they're going through
Yes,
right now.
yeah, loose ends and all that for sure.
Okay,
Oh man,
Quattro or Vorla?
love Quattro because influencing Joan Jett and just being part of that trail of influences. Love her. I recently discovered Vorlust when they released that album, and I dig them a lot. Like, I feel like Florida's kind of like on our own because either people make it a point to come to tour here or they kind of skip us, which is fair because it takes like 9 hours to get into the state, and then like it's touring, it's rough. But so like I would love to see them on this side because they're a lot of fun from what I see.
Yeah, and Conus, she is making a movie right now. She's making a
Oh
horror.
right, yes, I have seen like I think I've seen like something on Instagram stories or something. Very cool. Yeah,
That would be a fundraiser to get drunk at and give lots of money away to.
right, for sure.
So Janis Joplin or Mean Mistreater?
So I'm not familiar with Mean Mistreaters, so I'll definitely have to check them out too. But so I'll have to go with Janice just by default because I do appreciate her vocals are like, no other, untouchable, except for maybe Kaylee Baker, who's a performer here in Florida. Her vocals are amazing too. But yeah, other than
Um,
that, like, yeah, love Janice.
okay, I have to check out Kaylee Baker because I was gonna say, like often imitated, never equaled. I've never heard anybody sound anything like Janis Joplin before.
Similar,
Um,
but like Kaylee kind of still has her own like her definitely her own voice, and it's more of like the incredible control. Like
hmm,
as a vocalist trying to hone in my voice and make it go as good as it can. Like
mhm.
Kaylee's there, her whistling is amazing. Like it is mind blowing.
Mm,
Like very good blues artist, like blues folk. You see good stuff.
fun. I am gonna check that out. New recommendation. Ooh, maybe should do an interview. So Janice sings for this band, Me Mistreater. They're from Austin, Texas, and they have a very gritty thrash sound.
Ooh, cool, nice.
Yes, yes. Okay. So more grit, Bonnie Tyler or Betty Davis?
Ooh, that one's tough. That's a tough one. I love Bonnie Tyler, but Betty Davis has the look. I like she kind of inspires like I love the big platform boots and stuff, and yeah, so I would choose Betty Davis. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Betty Davis. Yeah.
You know, Betty Davis, especially these boots, because they're like thigh high buccaneer boots with a
Yes.
platform because they got that extra like lapel at the top.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
and that silver
yes,
sheen, like space
disco
pirate. I love
pirate.
it.
This is
Yes.
a disco pirate.
This is
Okay.
harder than I thought. So I have that. break break every rule is like what is like one of my favorite albums like ever.
Me
Top 10.
too. Me too.
Top
It
10.
is,
So I'm gonna
I
have
think
to
it's the
just
best
choose that.
thing.
Just I love Pat Benatar though. I know a lot of people have said like karaoke for Pat Benatar and stuff. Like that's definitely my go-to for that as well. But Break Every Rule is such a good album. And actually, because of your recommendation, I forgot who you're interviewing, but you told somebody about her first album being like a country album. I really enjoyed that album actually, and I
Oh,
checked it out because of the interview.
oh yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so definitely good stuff in these.
Tina, I'm
Yes.
helping. So, um, so yeah, and this album still has some of the country left in it
Yes.
from that first album.
What you get is what you see.
And
Oh,
she's
so
so
good.
right about it.
Yeah.
Typical male.
Yes. Yes.
I
That.
love
Oh, yes.
I love the whole thing. Until you get to like Paradise is Here and I'll Be Thunder, then I usually actually take. But Psy,
Understandable for sure.
yeah, because the mood just changes so much. But and also
Mhm.
Girls, I'm kind of like Girls is sort of a downer, but
Yeah.
it's still better than most albums anybody else ever put out.
I
Um,
love it. It's yeah. My mom had that on. I think she had it on cassette tape, if I remember correctly. And then I found it at a pawn shop on vinyl, and I was like, done.
okay, listen, you just told me your mom's whole personality in that statement. Anybody who listens to Break Every Rule on repeat, I know what kind of girl they are. So, Cher or Joan Jett?
I love them both. Cher for the fashion, but Joan is like I have a cherry bomb tattoo because of the influence of the Runaways and everything. Her from being a rhythm guitarist and a vocalist, like she's mother.
And really timeless fashion, honestly. Everybody still dresses like her, except for the
Yes.
shoulder pads, but that's only because people don't have them. So, yeah, Joan Jett. Um, okay, and after the Runaways broke up, she was rejected from 23 labels, just for
Mhm.
everybody's reminder.
Another comeback. Like yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right here. We got the comeback queens, okay? Cher, oh my
Oh yeah, yes, all of them.
God. Okay, yes. Comeback
Yeah,
queen.
throw in Ronnie Spector in there too. Like yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Jenny Darren. Okay. And then Cher, I just want to recommend her album Believe that came out when she was,
Was it 99? I think it was probably 98,
yeah,
99
yeah,
ish.
and she was like 54. And so
Mm-hmm.
the song Believe was her biggest hit of her whole life when she was 54. Just when you think that, you got nowhere left to go up, you do a
Oh
Cher.
yeah. Yeah.
And
And like now look at her. She's like a complete I mean, she's always been an icon, but she's an icon for newer generations. Like still, when you come to like RuPaul's Drag Race, like having her elements come in through, it's like timeless. She's timeless fashion a fashion icon.
yeah, and I also like want to point out to everybody that all three of these women were in bands that broke apart. Tony and Cher, Ike and
Mm,
Tina, Joan Jett and the Runaways, and when they went solo, they had more success.
yeah.
So don't be afraid, no matter what. And anyway, that album, Believe, I found this new song to be obsessed with playing over and over and over.
Mm,
We All Sleep Alone. There's just this one part in it where she does this burn and like crescendo. I was
mm.
like, Cher, that was like your best singing ever. Anyways,
I'll definitely have to listen to the whole album because like I feel like I've gotten trapped in like listening to singles and just your favorites with how everything is. And
mhm,
actually my husband in the last like 3 years, he's kind of started changing the way he listens to music by going and seeking out albums and like going through every but like favorite bands, just starting from the beginning and really appreciating the growth through. So like I join him on those and some of them like are artists that I love, like we went through Etta James and she's like one of my favorites. And that
mhm.
one was like a really great one. Highly recommend for someone who's able to take her vocals and go into funk, go into jazz and blues and just like do it right each time. It's like oh, so good. So yeah, like definitely going through albums like that. It's been trying to be more mindful.
100% I will be doing that Etta James discography adventure. Thank you for that recommendation.
Yes.
Because who doesn't love Etta James? And only people who haven't been listening. But you know, the thing with doing the discography for people, especially like Joni Mitchell, it's an autobiography in music. And like, you're just like,
Hmm.
because Joni Mitchell's songs are her own writing and so personal. Um, and yeah, it's just like such an adventure of a spirit. But the other thing is listening to somebody's discography is how you find these jewel songs that just didn't like get huge
Yeah.
for whatever reason, but they're really particular to your taste and it's an artist that you already love. So
Right.
everybody do the discographies. Okay,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Aisha.
Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
My pleasure.
All right. Bye. See you later.